All right, what is up, guys? It is Nick. We are back to break down and talk about the conference championships and the Army and Navy game. We're going to pick the games against the spread, and then we are going to take the winners, and we'll see how we do. Yeah, we'll track this all the way through the bowl games, and then we'll do it again next year. Yeah, we'll start it. I don't know. Football is the easiest way to track all of this. I probably will do some sort of NFL, but I don't know. We're kind of late into the season, and I'm fairly busy, so we're gonna have to figure this out. But yeah, let's get into this. We're gonna start with these games on Friday. Then we're gonna do Army Navy. Then we'll come back and do Western Michigan, and then we'll get to the good stuff. James Madison against Troy. Uh, these games are home games, but I believe they're probably going to be more like 65-35, 70-30 crowds instead of like 100% because Troy did get, I know for this James Madison game, Troy did get an allocation of tickets. And so I don't think it will be like 100% James Madison. It'll be a home game, but not like a full blown home game. So I think this is fairly easy. I'm going to take James Madison to win the game. Um, I have my reservations about them covering the spread. I think I am going to take Troy plus the 23 and a half. I think this will only go one way. I think on Saturday, or sorry, Friday, Thursday, Friday, this is going to tick over 24 and a half. But for the sake of this video, we're going to take Troy plus 23 and a half. I think James Madison's going to have the pressure of knowing that they have a shot at the college football playoff. This can go one or two ways. It can go the Miami way last week, where Miami knew they had to win and they had to win impressively, and they did it. But then there's the other thing of, I don't know, I'm just going to use this because it's easy. West Virginia Pitt, whatever that was, 08, 09, the Pat White, Steve Slayton losing to 2 and 9 or 1 and 10 Pitt, where you know you have to win and all you got to do is win. I don't think it matters for James Madison whether they blow him out or not. We discussed this in the last video. I think Tulane, North Texas, I just think it's gonna be the winner of that. It's getting the automatic group of 5 spot. James Madison needs help. They need Duke to win, but I think the pressure. I think Troy able to either backdoor cover it or keep it close. So I'm going to lock in the Troy plus 23 and a half. I don't think Troy is a good football team. I think James Madison is properly favored here, but I think coach is on his way out, and the pressure of the playoff on knowing you gotta win. I think lets Troy hang around, and Troy covers the 23 and a half. I would really like 24 and a half, or 24 to get that key number for 3 touchdowns and a field goal. But at this point, it's 23 and a half. Like I said, if you want to bet this, I would wait closer to kickoff because I really think it's only going one way. Moving on, we have Kennesaw State at Jacksonville State. Just says Jacksonville, Alabama, not Jacksonville, Florida. I don't know. Is Kennesaw? I don't actually know what state Kennesaw's in. Are they in Alabama? I just need to look at this. No, they're in Georgia. I knew they were one of the South states, but they're in Georgia. Similar to the other one, I think it's similar. I think Jacksonville State will have about 65% of the crowd. Kennesaw State did lose at Jacksonville State 35-26, so they are looking for a bit of revenge here. The one thing about these small spreads, you're taking them on the money line and you're taking them on the spread. With 2.5, I don't think there's any other way to look at it. Um, and for this one, I think I want to lean Jacksonville State. Um, I, I know it won't be the same home crowd that they had that won the first game, but I want to lean Jacksonville State. Kennesaw State obviously been the better team all year. Jacksonville State lost games to not good teams let's see. What did Jacksonville State lose to? So Jacksonville State lost to Florida International, Southern Miss, Georgia Southern, and UCF. But they did win the game against Kennesaw State at home. Um, how was this? Is there turnovers in this game? Four turnover. Okay, four turnovers from four picks. They had a pick by someone who wasn't their starting quarterback. Oh my gosh, they played two quarterbacks. Amari Odom and Dexter Williams. I can't honestly sit here and tell you that I've paid that much attention to Kennesaw State. So Amari Odom is their starter. All right, you know what? I'm changing my pick. I'm going Kennesaw State. They're not throwing four picks again. Give me Kennesaw State on the money line and give me Kennesaw State to win and cover the spread. Sometimes you just gotta go. You gotta go look a little and just see what exactly is going on. Okay. Next, I like North Texas to beat Tulane. I think Tulane is more battle tested. Um, I think they're I don't know if I would say they're the better team, but I do think they're more battle tested. They played that game at Ole Miss. They got boat race, so at some point, do we really care? Um, but let me see. Let me open this up real quick. Show a little bit peek here. We'll look at Tulane first. So Tulane has the nice win over Duke, which could be the ACC champion. Crazy. Lost by 35 to Ole Miss, and then lost to UTSA, which is kind of crazy. And then North Texas lost to South Florida in it. That was a wild football game. I had the over in this game. Crazy football game. Like if you look at like some of the scoring, it was 7-0 um like a here after a fumble and a pick, and then they just scored 14-7, 21-21 a half. Okay, and then they came out of half and just went absolutely ballistic. Touchdown, two straight touchdowns, a fumble return touchdown. Uh, then they scored a touchdown. That was a touchdown, turnover on downs, and then the fourth quarter touchdown, 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 end of the game. Um, just a just a crazy, ridiculous box score. Um, but I don't know. South Florida, obviously, they kind of faltered down the way, losing the Navy. If they wouldn't have lost to Navy, I believe they would have been in this conference championship game, even with the loss to Memphis. But they lost to Navy. Um, I think North Texas is the better team. Or yeah, I think North Texas is the better team. Um, it's not built on a whole lot of stuff. I just think North Texas is the better team. Moving on to Boise State and UNLV. This came down to a computer deciding who was in their playoff, which is kind of crazy to me. Um, and UNLV beat Boise at Boise already this year. Um, or sorry, they lost to Boise at Boise already this year. And they lost to New Mexico, which New Mexico was the other team fighting for a spot, and then there was one other team in the Mountain West fighting for the spot. There were four teams tied, I believe. Boise lost to USF, then they lost to Notre Dame, Fresno, and San Diego State. I just don't think. I know they blew out UNLV in the game they played, 56-31 on the blue turf. Um, but I don't know. For me, I'm going to take the better quarterback, and I think Calandria is the better quarterback. And so I'm riding the better quarterback. There's not a whole lot to gain from this. I mean, the stats are a little closer than the actual score ended up being, but I'm taking Calandria. I'm taking UNLV. I'm taking the points, and I'm taking the money line. On the blue turf, we're taking the Rebels. So UNLV, we're getting 4 points. I like that. I like the 4 points. And then we're going to do this Western Michigan, Ohio game, Miami of Ohio. I really honestly don't know a whole lot about either of these teams. We can take a look. Their nonsense is going to be quite ugly. Uh, they're one's Western Michigan's 8-4 and Miami is 7-5. So Miami lost their first three games of the year, lost to UNLV, Rutgers, Wisconsin, and then they lost to Ohio and Toledo, which is always interesting. Didn't play Western Michigan. Good for them. They beat Lindenwood. And Western Michigan, same deal. They lost to North Texas, Michigan State, and Illinois to start the year, and then they only lost to Miami of Ohio in the middle of the year, 26 to 17. Helped old Miami of Ohio get to this thing. Miami of Ohio has DeQuan Finn, who I believe doesn't play anymore. I believe he quit on the team to focus on the NFL draft, which is an insane statement to make about him. But I don't believe he played against Ball State. Yeah, see, this Gotkowski guy played. Did Gotkowski play against? Yeah, Gotkowski played against Buffalo. Did DeQuan Finn quit after losing? No, they started this Hessen guy against Toledo and lost. And did when was so DeQuan Finn's last game was his loss against Ohio. It is insane to me that DeQuan Finn quit on the team to go prepare for the NFL draft. Like, buddy, 6'2", 206. He has a good build, but like, buddy, like, what are we doing? Like, maybe he makes an NFL roster, but dude, what are we doing, brother? His career arc is crazy. He was at Toledo for 5 years, then played at Baylor for one, and then Miami of Ohio. I mean, just insane. How old is DeQuan Finn? Doesn't even tell me a birth year. He's got to be like 24, 23. I don't know, but he quit on the team. Maybe this Thomas Gotkowski guy is just the truth, and he's gonna carry them to victory. Where do I look at his stats? There we go. Maybe he's the truth, but I don't think he's very good. So give me Western Michigan. Taking a lot of chalk here, but give me Western Michigan. Give me them on the money line and give me them to win the game. Taking a lot of chalk there. Navy Army. Oh, the goodness that is Navy Army. Dude, there is some crazy. What is the total this year? It finally went over for the first time in forever. Was that 2 years ago? I don't know. It had like record setting. The over under is 38.5. It's kind of high. It was like, wasn't it like 29.5 one year? I don't know. I always pick Navy in this game. It's just a sick addiction that I have. I just always take Navy. I kind of want to take Army on the spread. Just because it's low scoring. It's something like you can take, like, just because, like, the range of outcomes if the score is actually under 38.5, a lot of them lean towards it being like 2017 or 17-14 or 14-10 or something like that. But we'll take Navy. I'm going to take them to win by a touchdown. So moving on to the big games, you got Texas Tech and BYU. I think, Texas Tech dominated them in their first matchup. Wasn't even a competition. Where was it? 29-7, and it was never really a question. It was 19-0. Was it bigger? Was it 26-0? Yeah. Yeah, it was 26-0. BYU scored their touchdown in garbage time, and Texas Tech kicked a field goal in garbage time. But yeah, this was never really a game. Bear Bachmeier played pretty poorly. 23 under 10 yards of completion. LJ Martin got absolutely shut down, 10 for 35. I'll be interested. When was this? Was this? No, it was enough because did he play the Oklahoma State game? No, he didn't. Was this his first game back? Remember? No. So Baron Morton had the game against Kansas State, so it's his second game back from injury. I don't know. I just feel like Texas Tech is just a machine. I think they're gonna roll BYU. BYU did keep Kalani Sitake, so that should help morale a little bit. But give me the Red Raiders and give me them big. I think BYU keeps it close in the first half. I do not hate a first half bet on BYU to keep it close, but I think Texas Tech will surprise people. I think they're a better team than people think. and I think they get it done. This is gonna be a pretty boring video of picks because um, I I think Georgia beats Alabama in Atlanta. I so I'm gonna take Georgia. I think they get revenge. Um, I don't think it was like, what do I want to say? I don't really think it was like bad luck that caused Georgia to lose to Alabama. I just think it was early. Gunnar Stockton just wasn't him yet. I mean, this has got to be Gunnar Stockton's worst game of the year. Well, he was pretty ass against Georgia Tech, but they really didn't have to do a whole lot against Georgia Tech. But other than this Georgia Tech game, which he was pretty darn terrible in, uh, that was his worst game by far. Um, and so I just think Gunnar Stockton will play better. I mean, the Georgia Tech thing is kind of alarming, but Alabama also was bad against Auburn, so like I don't know. This game could go either way, but give me Georgia. Give me the Bulldogs to do it in Atlanta and punch their ticket for a playoff bye. But man, I don't know. Georgia drives me up a wall. I really want to take Indiana here, but I don't think Indiana's defense is good enough. I think their offense is, but I think Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate in a dome, I just think I think both teams will hold some stuff back. I think this game means more to Indiana than it will for Ohio State. But man, I just don't think it's gonna matter in a dome. I just think Ohio State just gets it done. I could make the argument that we really don't know how good Ohio State or Indiana or Oregon are. They didn't play each other, and they didn't really play anyone out of conference. Ohio State played Texas, but you can't convince me that Texas is actually that good. Texas can be a top 5 team in the country, or they can be like an unranked team. I mean, clearly by their performances against Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Florida. So I don't know. What were they in week 1? Well, that was when Arch Manning sucked. So how good is Ohio State? How good is Indiana? All I know is that Vegas really likes Ohio State because I know on a neutral field they'd be like an 8-point favorite against Oregon, and Oregon's like the number 4 team for Vegas. So they're like really extending themselves out. And if they win this game, they're really going to extend themselves out because Indiana's the closest team to them, and they're a 4.5-point dog on a neutral field. Moving on, we're ending this off. Give me Darian Mensah. Give me Duke. Both of these teams aren't good. Duke or Virginia. They're both not good. But give me good old Duke. They did lose 34-17 to Virginia already, and Mensa was kind of mid. But I don't know. It's hard to beat the same team twice. That's my only logic here. I can't honestly say I've spent a ton of time. I know Chandler Morris is one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC. I would probably put him top 2 or 3. We can look. Let's go look at the ACC. So Carson Beck is better. Haynes King is better. Probably. I mean, Klubnik has NFL potential. I don't really know if he's a better actual football player. Steve Angeli is hurt, so we're not counting him. So I would take Kevin Jennings, Carson Beck, Haynes King, and maybe Klubnik. Klubnik's kind of, I don't know, pick your poison with Klubnik. I do think Klubnik is probably better than Chandler Morris, so he's probably the 5th best quarterback. Mentz is probably the 6th best quarterback. I don't know, I just got a Duke feeling. There's nothing a whole lot special about it, but give me Duke on the money line and then Duke plus the points. I think this goes only one way. I think it only goes Virginia. I think you can get to that 4. I know 4 is not technically a key number, but it's a number that I look for because 14-10, 21-17, stuff like that. 28-24, games like that happen. So if I can get 4.5, I think I would take it. I do think late money probably comes in on Indiana, but I don't think the sharp betters will be on Ohio State because I think probably in a lot of people's power rankings they're probably bigger than a 4.5 point favorite against Indiana. Um, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is our little bracket here, all broken down. Or not bracket, but uh, conference championships and Army Navy game broken down. We'll come back and break down the bowl games, recap all of this, and yeah, we'll go from there. I'll import all the bowl games into here. I like to put the location because I think it does matter. Um, but I don't think it's like the end all be all for neutral sites, but it does matter in terms of getting your fans actually to the games. I bolded out the actual home teams. These are actual home games. These are not actual home games. So, yeah, we'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't. Let me know if you'd want to see anything else in these. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.